'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the land Fox News warned its viewers of a dastardly plan. The liberals were launching their war on the season to get rid of Christmas and commit acts of treason, removing decorations out of their sight and telling you that Santa and Jesus ain't white. Environmentalists who will come right after your soul. They hate all things Christmas, especially the coal. They'll sneak in your house all dressed in their flannel and instead give the bad kids some new solar panels. They'll take up all decorations that please us. They'll even go after tiny baby Jesus. Now all these Fox lies cause such a frustration. Who would save us all from this misinformation? When live from the net there came lots of chatter. Could it be old St. Nick or perhaps someone fatter? Broadcasting from New Orleans down in Louisiana, it was none other than Liberal Dan, coming to save the holiday season, busting through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. But I cannot do it myself, he exclaimed, so he called other groups, each one by name, on Christians, on Muslims, on Wiccans, on Jews, on Hindus and Buddhists and atheists too. Let's all spread the word and tell them indeed that there's no war on Christmas, just one on greed. So instead of joining this manufactured fight, listen to Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right. Welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right. This is your host, Dan Zimmerman, coming at you from New Orleans, Louisiana. We'll hand out the call-in number in a bit, but if you want to join the conversation, just always make sure to come into the chat, either liberaldanradio.com or twitch.tv/liberaldanradio. I like to interact with the chat as much as possible, and so you can do that there. Of course, it's 562-LibDan1 is the phone number, and we'll open those lines up in a little bit. As we continue to discuss the issues of the day. Have a bunch of stuff to talk about too. President Biden was a very busy boy, and he signed a whole bunch of legislation into law, and one of them we'll get into a lot more detail in a bit. Steve, the British are coming. Don't tell Impeccable Living that. He might get a little excited. Sorry.
Oh my.
See, I still need a new soundboard. That was probably the second to last time you will hear the War on Christmas intro. I'll play it again as I'm exiting the show, just to play it one more time, but then we'll put that in the locker, and we won't haul it back out until after Thanksgiving next year. But if you miss it, you could always listen to the updated version that I posted on liberaldanradio.com, which again is the YouTube channel. Please make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share videos and everything with your friends to help the algorithm get more people into the show. There's some other creators, who are kind of taken off past me, and while I wish everybody who is on the left success, we need a much stronger left media, and we'll go into that in a little bit as well. Stephanie Miller has talked about that, where we need a better farm team, we need a better everything when it comes to combating the conservatives and sometimes even the moderates. We'll talk about that in a bit as well. This next year, we're going to need all the help that we can get to try and get this show taking off. We can have so much more people in the chats. I think we could have so much more conversation. We could get so much more reach if only we can get this, seen by more people. I think I bring some stuff that's unique and everything. If I didn't think I brought stuff that was unique, I would just support other people's podcasts. But I like to think that's why y'all are here. Y'all early adapters of Liberal Dan Radio, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for it. I just think we could be so much bigger and better in the coming year if only we could just get the algorithms to hit. Let's see. So in the chat. We've got Aaron. Thank you, Aaron, for joining. Steve from across the pond. Surrender Monkey. Tim. Jackie Seha is here. Thank you, Seha. Tim, again, I think I said Tim already. Josh, etc. I mean, it is a Christmas Eve. It's not Christmas, or it's not Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Day. Yesterday was Christmas Eve. The day before was Christmas Eve, right? So we will. I'm anticipating perhaps, potentially, a smaller audience today because people might be just spending time with their families or exhausted from Christmas Day or what have you. But to everybody who celebrates Christmas, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Everybody who celebrates Hanukkah, wish you a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays for everybody who's celebrating anything else. Kwanzaa starts tomorrow. We have Festivus, Yule, etc. So whatever reason you have to celebrate, even if it's your own reasoning to celebrate, whatever it is you want to celebrate, I hope you enjoyed, have a good time, and I hope the incoming year treats you better than we all anticipate that it might. Because, this upcoming year I'm anticipating a doozy. I'm anticipating a lot of stuff to talk about on the show. I'd rather not have a bunch of stuff to talk about. I'd rather have, rather be able to talk about fun things, not how rights are dwindling away to nothing. Can we do favorite Bible quotes? Sure, Acts 4 and 5. And I'm not even Christian. Acts 4 and 5 is my favorite ones to talk about. Because that's the one that the Christian conservatives don't understand, that actually mentions, socialism, and that you need to give all of your sales. If you sell your house, you have to give all of your proceeds to your neighbors to redistribute the wealth so that others are not in need. That's socialism, folks. But people like Elohim or whatever don't want to seem to understand that type of thing. Let's see. We're gonna put this at 5 super chats. We'll make it for the whole show or whatever. A holiday song. So I'm gonna start the goal for the super chats. Everybody, just if you get 5 super chats, $5 or more, I'll go ahead and I'll do a Christmas carol or Hanukkah song or whatever. I'll leave it up to the chats for it getting done, especially if one person I guess does a full 25 or whatever. But we'll have fun with the show, even though we do have some rants to do. And Nick Rich is here, so good to see that you're here, because I'm finna be ranting today, even though I am wearing my Disney themed Hanukkah shirt, which I bought because it was my size and they had it, and I'm Jewish, so there you go. I got it last year and I'm very happy to be able to wear it this year. I should have worn my Mickey ears too. It's either Mickey or Minnie ears, whatever, but it is Hanukkah ears, so there you go. Gotta live my Jewish life proud, right? Even though I don't practice.
It is what it is.
See, this is why this app sucks.
It is what it is.
Thank you, Donald. So yeah, I definitely need to find myself a new soundboard for the new year, because this is the third one. Thought the third time was going to be a charm, but it's not. It is not as good as I thought it would be. But let's see, what else can we talk about before we start getting into the meat of the issues? Give a couple people a few more minutes to straggle on in. Thank you, Aaron. The first $5 towards the Christmas carol or Hanukkah song or whatever it is. I can't promise you I'll sing well. I can't promise you that probably won't have any music backing me up because I don't want copyright violations. So we will see. Leave it up to everybody else who maybe to give some ideas for what I might want to sing, and I might have to pull up the lyrics. Who knows? I will start away though with the first night. This is the first night of Hanukkah, and so instead of the 12 days of Christmas, I do the 8 nights of Hanukkah song. That I made this song up like when I was 12 or 13 or something. Like I started this like way back then, and it just I've been kind of workshopping it and kind of changing the lyrics back and forth to see what kind of works. So you'll probably hear the first night, you'll hear the 5th night, and you'll hear the 7th night. Probably because I'll sing the songs versions for those 3. So we'll start off with the freebie. On the first night of Hanukkah, my rabbi gave to me a bagel with lox and cream cheese. Anyway, that's how we start my 8 nights of Hanukkah song. So there you go. Tip your waitress, etc., etc. Tim, am I still eating less Dan? Yes, in fact, we made steak and potato latkes and some like baked carrots or whatever, some recipe that Cassie found. They're good. We had that. Normally we have steaks, on Christmas dinner or whatever. And a lot of the times it would be at my mother-in-law's house. Obviously that's not happening. But the steak was huge. I mean, it was a gigantic steak. And I think I ate like that much of it. Like I had that, 3 potato latkes, and a couple of carrots, and that's all I ate. So yes, the medicine is keeping me. I couldn't even eat. I got a whole bunch of Chinese. Usually Jewish people get Chinese food on Christmas Day, but because Christmas Day is steak day, I usually buy the Christmas food or the Chinese food on Christmas Eve. And I didn't even finish. I had like half of the wonton soup. I had some of the General Tso's chicken. I didn't have any of the beef fried rice. I had some of the white rice. Did have dumplings or whatever. But yeah, that was the only thing I ate. And then I didn't eat again until dinner time today. So yeah, I haven't weighed myself, so I don't know how much more I've dropped. But we'll see. Maybe I'll do that in the morning or something, and just to see. I'm gonna have to find my belt. My pants are already starting to fall down. Woohoo! No pants. No pants is always better. I don't like adulting because adulting requires pants, which is one of the things that I actually like working from home. I can work in my PJ pants and not have to worry about it. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to next year's increase in expenditures that I'm going to have to be making. My insurance is going up. The premiums are going up. The deductibles going up. The cost sharing is going up. All that fun stuff is happening. And I'm sure Trump is going to screw us over when it comes to student loan payments. So that's going to suck too. And then at some point, I'm probably going to have to start buying new clothes, which is not a horrible thing. Hopefully, I do have a bunch of old clothes. Hopefully, the old clothes will still be okay, and I'll be able to transition from what I'm wearing now and what I'm wearing then. Hopefully, that'll be fine. I'd love to be able to wear some of my older shirts that I have not worn in years. We'll see if that happens though. Any side effects? You look faster. I don't know if I'm faster yet. It's like, I don't know, like I might feel a little bit less strain on my knees. My knees still hurt, but I'm still feeling less strain on my knees, which is nice. Although I can't really say for certain, because then again, over the weekend, my knees were absolutely killing me, so I don't know. But I might have overexerted myself instead of it just being the weight pushing down on it. I notice it when driving. There's more room between my stomach and the steering wheel. So there's that. That's always a nice little thing to happen. However, I'm still, my festively plump self, as Cartman once said. I'm not fat, I'm festively plump. So, you're fine. Maybe buy some nicer toenail paint. I don't understand. Is that to Aaron? Is that to me? I don't understand that. Anyway. But anyway, we are going to shouts out to Aaron for starting the ball rolling on the holiday song super chat deal. Again, 4 more super chats will get you there, and I'll reset it every time if we get to it. Although if I'm in the middle of a rant, I will wait till after the rant for the song to be sung. Just as a side note, I'm not going to interrupt the rant for it. Because usually when I'm doing the rant and I open up this screen, the other screen right here, and I start recording, I'm just recording it as well to make sure that I can have enough so I can upload it immediately. And there may very well be 2 rants today. Let's see, save on grocery bill, which is good, especially with eggs at $30. See, eggs aren't that expensive, at least for me. I go to Costco. My eggs are much cheaper than that at Costco. My milk is cheaper than what a lot of people complain about as well. I mean, you have the Costco membership, but between the Costco membership and the Costco credit card where you save money or get cash back on it, like, we do most of our grocery shopping as we can at Costco, and we get cash back both with the regular 2% from being an executive member. I'm not sponsored by Costco. This is just how I save money. And then the credit card, which gives you like up to 4% on gasoline, 2% other places, 2% additional on, I think, Costco purchases, giving you a total of 4. currently the rewards that I'm getting, I think in February will be like probably $800 at this point. It's not the most I've ever gotten. I got like over 1,100 one year, but that was when I was rideshare driving and I was buying a lot of gas. So let's see. I'm in a red state. Just got a ticket in the mail for no insurance with a camera pic, and my car was insured guilty and proven innocent. That sounds par for the course. You know, these traffic tickets, I don't understand why they think that. I did have a friend who got fined a whole bunch in Louisiana because they claimed that she didn't have insurance for like 3 days, and not having insurance for 3 days apparently was worth like hundreds of bucks worth of fines. I don't understand that. Apparently, if you're not going to use your car for a certain amount of time, you can't just let it lapse. You have to let them know that you're not driving, and therefore you don't need insurance, even though you own the vehicle. Who knows? But there was one time we were at some like NOLA Christmas Fest thing a few years ago. I think it might have been in 2021, maybe, or maybe a little. Or my car had to get fixed, and it was at a shop, and all of a sudden I get a notice in the mail that I got a speeding ticket, and I'm like, what the hell's going? Or a red light camera ticket. It was a red light camera ticket, and I'm like, what? I'm like, this doesn't sound right. I couldn't figure out what the hell. And then my wife reminded me, that was the day we went to NOLA Christmas Fest. I was like, yeah, there's no way I was driving. Turns out the person driving the vehicle back from wherever they had to take it to do whatever work they needed to get done on the vehicle and bringing it back to the body shop, they ran a red light coming back to the shop. And so I was like, hey, I got this red light camera ticket. That you still had the car when this red light camera ticket was charged, therefore you need to pay this. So ridiculous. So see, I buy eggs from a farmer, $5 at a dozen for 3 years. Oh, and those are probably very delicious eggs too. We sometimes would get eggs from our neighbors. Our neighbor has some chickens, but I don't think they've been producing a lot of eggs recently. So I guess it's always nice to have a neighbor that'll give you eggs, right? So sorry salutes a him, her, soldier, and a karate. I don't understand what that is. I don't understand what that means. My wife found out our insurance company has been trying to call us, but our phones register it as spam. Nice. Gotta love that. I used to be able to not get phone calls from like companies or whatever because of some stupid setting that was on my AT&T phone, and then we finally got that fixed. Then I could actually take voicemail. So that was crazy in and of itself. So all right, let's switch gears and start. So I think we probably have about 15 viewers right now, which is fine. I mean, again, it's Christmas Day. I didn't expect this to be a full show, and we'll have some clips that we'll post that people can watch later for people who are coming in late or whatever. President Biden signed 50 things into law, 50 bills into law. Let's go over the press release first from the White House. We will go over all of the bills, just a brief summary, and then we're going to talk about one specific one where I'm a little annoyed at Biden at. Actually, we'll read some of these off. We'll play this week's Hypocrite of the Week, and then we'll start our first rant. Because, what better way to celebrate Christmas than talk about Hanukkah and whatever holiday you want to celebrate than by signing into law something that helps to discriminate against people. Hey, Janelle, good to see you. Anyway, so Monday, December 23rd, 2024, President signed into law H.R. 663, the Native American Child Protection Act, H.R. 107, the Everett Alvarez Jr. Congressional Gold Medal Act of 2023, H.R. 1607, which clarifies jurisdiction with respect to certain Bureau Reclamation pumped storage development, whatever that means, Chesapeake and Ohio Canal National Historic Park Commission Extension Act, Mountain View Corridor Completion Act, First Responder Access to Innovative Technologies Act. Sounds like it should be reasonable. H.R. 3324 extends the authority to collect Shasta Trinity Marina fees through fiscal year 2029. The Paperwork Burden Reduction Act. That always sounds good. I mean, you thought way back in the day that, hey, we won't use enough paper. We won't use a lot of paper once computers start taking effect. Nope. Computers just allow us to generate more paper reports quickly. Employer Reporting Improvement Act. Again, this is the website. The press release isn't necessarily giving a bunch of stuff. Great Salt Lake Stewardship Act, Drought Preparedness Act. I'm sure Trump will just ignore that and try and overturn that once he becomes president. DHS Border Services Contracts Review Act. Let's see what that is. I'm sure that's something that might piss Donald Trump off. Let's see. Let's see what that is. Let's load it up. The bill directs the Department of Homeland Security to assess contractor personnel performing services along the U.S. land border with Mexico and plan to implement recommendations developed from this assessment. Specifically, DHS must report to Congress regarding active contracts with a total of $50 million or more relating to the procurement of services along the border. The report must include, among other things, the criteria used by DHS to determine whether contractor personnel are necessary to assist in carrying out its mission at the border, an analysis of the purpose, quality, or quantity and location of contractor personnel addressing DHS mission needs along the border and enhancing the capability of DHS personnel to perform primary mission responsibilities, and assessments of the benefits of contractor personnel performing the services, a strategy to improve the procurement and delivery of services through contracts over a 5-year period, and recommendations based on the report's findings. So there you go. That's that. I mean, sounds reasonable. I'm sure Donald Trump will view it as overhead that'll probably try to ignore in trying to deal with his border things that he wants to do, which are terrible. Eliminate Useless Reports Act of 2024. Sounds reasonable. Stop Campus Hazing Act, H.R. 5643. That Joe Biden has made it that they want to make sure that hazing stops in campuses. The fact that hazing still goes on in campuses is just continued BS. Good. I mean, I was in a fraternity. I was not hazed. I was not hurt, harmed, or any way. I have some trust exercises, but that's not bad. HR 5770, the Water Monitoring and Trafficking Essential Resources Data Improvement Act. So the Water Act is Water Monitoring and Tracking Essential Services, but water it's WMATER, but they ignore the M and the A and then call it the Water Act, the Water Data Improvement Act. If water monitoring was hyphenated, that might work. HR 6826, which designates the Visitor and Education Center at Fort McHenry National Historic Monument and Historic Shrine in Baltimore, Maryland, as the Paul S. Sarbanes Visitor and Education Center. Interesting. HR 6829, Cardiomyopathy Health Education Awareness and Research and AED Training in the Schools Act of 2024, or the Hearts Act of 2024, because it's Health Education Awareness and Research and Training. Hearts. Get it? Or schools, so that's the S part. They're always so clever, or they try to be. HR 6843, which expands boundaries of the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area to include Lafourche Parish, Louisiana, which that helps, affects us, and sure, it's good. But thank you, Representatives Scalise, Graves, Letlow, Higgins, and Carter, and Senators Cassidy and Kennedy for their leadership. See, Joe Biden will take the time to thank everybody. I'm wondering how little Donald Trump will do that. He'll take all the credit for himself. Yes, Trump doesn't care about the border. He cares about funneling government spending, of course. That's all he's there to do, to funnel government spending into his pockets, into his corporation, so that him and his family can get paid. Let's see. HR 7177, which amends Title 28 to consolidate certain divisions in the Northern District of Alabama. I don't know. Autism Collaboration, Accountability, Research, Education, and Support Act of 2024, or the Autism Cares Act of 2024. Utah State Parks Adjustment Act, GSA Technology Accountability Act, Colorado Salinity Control Fix Act, or the Colorado River Salinity Control Fix Act. What's that? Is that they couldn't find a cool acronym to that one, I guess. I don't know. Lahiana National Heritage Area Study Act, the Swanson and Hugh Butler Reservoir Land Conveyances Act, a whole bunch of just acts of just, very specific stuff. Detection, Equipment, and Technology Evaluation to counter the threat of fentanyl and Xylitine Act of 2024, or the Detection, Equipment, and Technology Evaluation to counter threat. So that's detect. So they got clever again with that name. Let's see, Source Code Harmonization and Reuse in Information Technology Act, or the Share IT Act. Again, them being clever. I guess I can't complain, because I do complain when businesses are not clever about how they name things, but yeah. And of course, yes, your source code should be, you should be able to reuse source code. You should be able to source code. As when I learned as a freshman, as an intro student to computer science at University of New Orleans, your code should be readable and it should be reusable. You should be able to reuse the code as much as possible, which saves you money. Let's see. Aaron is saying that Surrender Monkeys, almost all my chat threads link to some obscure bollocks, and I already said, unless I use the Trump thing that does the word thing and maybe includes English. The Controlled Substances Act to fix a technical error in the definitions. I guess there was that. It's always silly when they pass legislation and they don't actually make sure that it's worded correctly. Similar thing happened in City of Kenner when I lived there. City of Kenner wanted to change who could be the president of the council, because at the time the City of Kenner said you had to have one or the other would be president, and then the other one would be, and then the other at-large person would be vice president. So the only presidents of the council could be presidents or vice president, and the reason for that was because the president of the council would step in and be mayor if it was urgent, if something needed to be happening. They would either act as mayor or take over as mayor for whatever reason. So, and then this way you wanted to be an at-large seat because you wanted to be from a position that was also elected citywide. However, the City of Kenner did not like the people who were serving in the at-large positions. At least certain factions of the City of Kenner didn't like that. So they edited the wording to say that anybody from any of the councilmanic districts, including the district ones, could be president of the council. But they didn't change the wording to make it so that the vice presidency would go to somebody else, could go to any other district. It said the other at-large district. Well, what other at-large district? There's two if you elect somebody from a regular district as president. So they worded it poorly, and I had to be the one to point it out, not the parliamentarian, not the city attorney. It was me who pointed it out. And that's what got me on the charter committee to help revise the charter and make some amendments to the charter, including that amendment which was needed to fix the fact that they worded the previous amendment stupidly. Not surprised. It is the City of Kenner. Thank you, Impeccable Living. Thank you. I don't know what you look like, so I can't say if you look handsome or not, but I appreciate you as always.
Oh my.
And that's for you, Impeccable Living. Let's see. The Beagle Brigade Act of 2023. I don't know what that is, but who cares? The No Congressionally Obligated Recurring Revenue Used as Pensions to Incarcerated Officials Now Act, or the No Corruption Act. No Congressionally Obligated Recurring Revenue Used as Pensions to Incarcerated Officials Now Act, or the No Corruption Act. Again, being clever and creative. Basically, and this is actually Rick Scott and Holly and Rosen. Hey, Surrender Monkey, thank you for gifting the 5 memberships. Appreciate you. That's good to see when regular people get it, like Teresa as well. So, but you're awesome, Surrender Monkey. Appreciate you. But yeah, that's actually one of the good things that got passed, which was the fact that, if you're convicted of corruption, I think it's corruption pertaining to your office, and you actually get a conviction, you lose your pension. So that's a good thing, I think. I think we can all agree that that's a good thing. The Jenna Quinn Law, don't know what that is. Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act. That was something that was promoted by Paris Hilton. I didn't realize this, but when Paris Hilton was, I guess, away at some sort of childhood rehab center or whatever, I don't know exactly the details pertaining to it, but there apparently was a lot of abuse that went on. She was apparently physically assaulted, I think sexually assaulted, mentally assaulted, in the fact that she was like separated, and the family was lied to, and so she made it a big deal to try and actually push this. So it was good that this thing got happened, and it's good to see celebrities using their celebrity power, even though you don't really hear much about Paris Hilton anymore. I think they shared a picture of their kid or whatever, but good on her for, I mean, yes, she was affected by it, but it's good that she's out there using her celebrity to make a difference in the world. So kudos, shouts out to her. Working Dog Health and Welfare Act of 2023. There's no clever acronym there, apparently. Veterans Benefits Improvement Act of 2024. The Never Again Education Reauthorization Act of 2023. Something that's very much needed, because a large portion of the people in this country who are like millennials and or younger, like Gen Alpha, Gen Y, those people don't know the facts about the Holocaust, and we need to learn more about the Holocaust in this country to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's why it's called the Never Again Education Reauthorization Act of 2023. America's Conservation Enhancement and Reauthorization Act, the ACER, it would be the ACER Act, but I guess that wasn't clever enough for them. Jamul Indian Village Land Transfer Act, S3938 designates the community-based outpatient clinic of the Department of Veterans Affairs in Lynchburg, Virginia, as the private first-class Desmond T. Doss VA clinic. The Senate Bill 3946 designates the facility of the United States Postal Service located at 1106 Main Street in Bastrop, Texas, as the Sergeant Major Billy D. Waughh, W-A-U-G-H, or Wah, I don't know how that's pronounced. Transportation Screening Security Modernization Act, Federal Judiciary Stabilization Act, S407, which that designates another post office, Think Differently Transportation Act. Not sure exactly what that does. They made the bald eagle the national bird officially. Financial Management Risk Reduction Act. Medical Center of Department of Veterans Affairs in Tulsa, Oklahoma as the James Mountain Inhofe VA Medical Center. The National Advisory Council on Indian Education Improvement Act, or the NACIE Improvement Act. That doesn't stand for anything. They're just calling it that for short, I suppose. How do we feel about boats? They are like cars, but help us forget birds sometimes that live in the waterways. Birds are fake. Don't you know that? Birds, according to at least some people on the internet, birds aren't real. Birds are a myth. There's no such thing as birds. They're just figments of our imagination or whatever, because people are silly. So, yeah, boats are expensive as well, yes. Sidge. Impeccable Living. I am inexplicably attracted to Jewish men. Oi! There could be worse things to be attracted to. Is it because you like the circumcision? Is that why, or is that something else? Do you like the yarmulke? Makes it less likely to notice that the guys are bald because they wear a yarmulke. Now, see, I did grow out my sideburns a little bit for my. You can kind of see it. I still kind of have it like shaved here. I'm a little scruffy, but I had a '70s party, so I made sure to have my sideburns to be '70s type sideburns as best as I could. I don't know if I'll keep that or not. My wife said made some comment about liking it, so we will see. But yeah, we'll see if they last. Who knows? Sometimes I just started actually just whenever I go without shaving for a couple of days, I'll just leave the beard in place and have the full-on beard, just kind of a thin beard, because I think I look okay with that too. But I was like, well, might as well have the mutton chops in to be able to go along with the '70s party. Thank you, Impeccable Living. Thank you, Aaron, as well. Let's see, what else? I think we went through almost everything that Biden signed. Almost everything. But we haven't done everything because first we have to play this week's Hypocrite of the Week. This week's Hypocrite of the Week is President Biden, who last month said there should be no place for hate in America, and yet too many transgender Americans, including young people, are cruelly targeted and face harassment simply for being themselves. It's wrong. Yesterday, he signed the NDAA, which included language prohibiting the children of those who serve in the military from getting gender-affirming care. This is why Democrats lose. To see who the Hypocrite of the Year will be, tune in next week, and remember to tune in every Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central on liberaldanradio.com or twitch.tv/liberaldanradio for more talk from the left. That's right. So yes, I will occasionally attack people on my side of the aisle, and today I am attacking President Biden for signing that legislation with the language included in the legislation. So, and this is where we start our first Fat Man rant. All right. So again, yesterday, President Biden signed into law the NDAA. The NDAA included provisions in it that would prevent people who serve in the military from having their kids get covered trans or gender affirming care. This is after President Biden, on the Transgender Day of Remembrance, i.e. on 11/20, so just a little over a month ago, says, "Today on Transgender Day of Remembrance, we mourn the transgender Americans whose lives were taken this year in horrific acts of violence. There should be no place for hate in America, yet too many transgender Americans, including young people, are cruelly targeted and face harassment simply for being themselves. It's wrong." You just signed something into legislation, into law, that targets trans people. It targets trans people. It prevents them from getting the needed care. This is the first time that there's been some sort of federal law passed to discriminate against LGBTQA folks since what? The Don't Ask, Don't Tell? At least in the military. Biden says further in his statement, "My administration has taken significant action to strengthen the rights and protect the safety of all Americans, including working access the federal government to combat violence against transgender Americans. Every American deserves to be treated with dignity and respect and to live free from discrimination. Today, we recommit ourselves to building a country where everyone is afforded that promise." That commitment lasted, 35 days? Yeah, 35 days. Yeah, that was not a very good commitment there, President Biden. Not one bit. Again, conservatives fight for these things because, even though they believe that government should be small, they think it should be big enough to discriminate against people they don't like, they don't agree with, or they don't even simply understand. Why is it that a parent and the doctor of that parent can't get together with the child and figure out what is best for that particular child? It should be a conservative thought to be like, it's none of the government's business. The government shouldn't be stopping you from doing this. It should be between the parents and their doctors and the kids. But because they want to villainize trans people, it goes through and they run on it, and they run on their bigotry, they run on their intolerance. And then when you have the opportunity, Joe Biden has nothing more to do politically. He's done. He's leaving office in less than a month now. He could have used his clout, his power, his authority to stand up to these Republican bullies and have said no. You could have simply said, "No, I refuse to sign this with this language in it. If you don't want to sign an NDAA this year, then you need to, then that's your problem. I will not put this hate into law." You could have stood up to it. You could have used the authority you had again, but you did not. And this is why Democrats lose. This is why Democrats will continue to lose. Why? Because we mistakenly think that that the solution to why we've lost was the fact that we were too far to the left. We think that, we did too much woke stuff, and the people don't like the woke stuff, and therefore we need to move back towards the center. That's why we lose. Yeah, we need to do a better job convincing the people in the center as to why we support the things we support, why it's the right thing to do. But when you run back towards the center, you leave all the other people out. That people are not going to want to come out and vote for you. They're just not. They're going to sit home. They're going to be like, "Well, why should I vote for you? You're not standing up and fighting for me." You don't run to the center to solve this problem. You need to move more to the left. I understand in swing districts, if you're in a swing congressional district, I absolutely understand why you might want to have, Cuellar, I think was the conservative guy that a lot of leftists had a problem with in Texas, that he was running in a very, very purple leaning red district. Look, I get that. I get electing individual Democrats that way, but you can't run a leftist in every district. But if you're going to run away from progressive ideas, if you're going to run away from supporting human rights, because trans rights are human rights, if you're going to do that, you're going to lose. You should always stand on the side of human rights. Now people are going to look at Biden and look at the Democratic Party and be like, well, now they're useless, because why do we have the Democrats? Because they're not willing to stand up to the Republicans. And this is maybe the last time we had to stand up against the Republicans for a while, at least 2 years, until we can potentially try and win the House back or the Senate. This is the last opportunity to take a stand against the Republican bullying, especially the Republican bullying against trans folk, against LGBTQA folks. And President Biden failed to do that. He failed. He failed trans people. He failed his own statement that he made just over a month ago. We need more people out there to be running more to the left. We need to fight for leftward causes. We need media that will be out there fighting for leftist causes, fighting for progressive causes, fighting for human rights, fighting for human dignity. That didn't happen with President Biden and the NDAA. We can't afford to have ABCs of the world who just fold, give up shop and fold and settle lawsuits that were BS. Was it the Midas group? I think Trump's threatening to sue them, and they're basically like, bring it on. Come at me, bro. They're basically telling Trump, look, we will embarrass you in court if you try to come after us. They'll say, they literally said that if you go to my Twitter account, you'll see, I reposted that. Maybe it's also on Blue Sky as well. I need to go check the account on Blue Sky. But yeah, they basically were like, come at me. We will embarrass you if you try and come after us for this BS, because that's what it is, BS. You need to stand up to the Republican bullies, the MAGA bullies, etc. That's why we need whole new media out there. And we need the farm teams out. We need everybody fighting for these causes to explain why a democratically elected president, who is a Democrat, why he should be taking the time to stand up for the rights of the marginalized and the disenfranchised in this country, including, but not limited to, LGBTQA folks. But this is just the first half of my fat man rant. Wait for part 2. What do you think? Agree or disagree? Leave your comments down below. Remember to share the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and have a good day. So there's that. Trucker John's in the chat. Good to see you, Trucker John. Let's see. See, this is just, Biden finally does something right. Thanks. Is that you, Mr. Gibson? Joe? Is that Joe Gibson? It's Joe, but I don't know. It could be Joe Gibson. We'll see. You're saying that Biden's doing something right. No, it's not right whatsoever at all. Oh, I just see Aaron, yes. Jojo Mojo's in the chat. Good to see you, Jojo Mojo. There's a slight difference, I think, between name-calling and accusing somebody of being drunk and calling them a drunkard, like in and of itself. I think there's a slight difference there. But yeah, we could be a little better and not just jumping to the "Are you drunk?" You should force people like Joe to stand up to his beliefs and his views or what have you. Let's see. I wish I was drunk instead of getting ready. Nice. Let's see. Yeah. If I lose enough weight, yes, I'll have to change the segment from Fat Man Rants to Man Rants? Formerly Fat Man Rants? I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever not be fat. Let's just put it that way. I might lose a whole bunch of weight. I could lose a whole bunch of weight and still be overweight. Like, if I dropped 100 pounds, I'd still be overweight. If I dropped 150 pounds, I'd probably still be overweight.
You guys are one-sided. No. How can you say that we're one-sided when I'm literally sitting here doing a fat man rant criticizing President Biden? Like, I'm criticizing the president. I'm criticizing my own side. How am I one-sided? I criticize everybody when they need to be criticized. Yes, PB, exactly. The right wing divides us by picking on different groups of people. They scapegoat, because they learned from the Nazis. They learned from the Nazis how to do this. They learned that if you can scapegoat enough marginalized and oppressed groups and make them more marginalized and more oppressed, that the people will jump along the bandwagon and be like, well, as long as they're not coming after me. It's pure Nazism, 101. Trucker John, now I feel like getting drunk. I don't know. I thought about taking an edible before the show, but I didn't know. It was I have new ones, and I don't know if they would kick in. Yes, being drunk isn't as bad as being a Nazi. Exactly. Exactly, 100%. Being drunk is not as bad as being a Nazi. Anyone remember Joey Buttafuoco and Amy Fisher? Yes. And don't forget Mary Jo Buttafuoco as well. I made a very maybe poor joke in poor taste, but I can make poor taste joke. Me and my wife make a lot of poor taste joke between each other because we have a similar horrible sense of humor. We have a similarly horrible sense of humor. And so I was like, because she had her Bell's palsy issue, and she's still having some issues with her face here, and so she has that, the Bell's palsy look a little bit. It's not as bad as it was before, but I was like, hey, if you still have this next Halloween, you could go dressed up as Mary Jo Buttafuoco, and I could be Joey Buttafuoco, and then we just have to find somebody to be Amy Fisher, and we both laughed. But it's probably not something that we would actually do, because it's horrible, but it's still freaking hilarious. And the only book Trump has ever read are Hitler books. Did they? I mean, I don't know. Did they bring out Mein Kampf in the coloring book version? But yes, we were all made aware that Donald Trump, one of the books that he likes is actually Mein Kampf. And if you like the book Mein Kampf, you might be a Nazi. I wish I had booze in the house. My son just asked, my 16-year-old son just asked why the bottom door in the cabinet was locked. And I was like, that's because when you were a baby, we didn't want you opening up the cabinet and going through all the liquor and breaking the bottles, or worse, drinking it. Or worse, getting cut by the broken bottles. Yeah, so that's why we had a lock on the door, and it took him 16 years to figure that out. Or maybe 15 years, depending on when he started walking. No, it's not. No, what's not, Joe? And we're going to open up the phone lines a little bit. We'll see if that happens. We'll see what happens at that point. That'll be interesting. Because we no longer have Blog Talk Radio phone lines anymore. We have our own. But before we do that, we have part 2. Because I didn't want to include... Well, I'll get into that in a second. Welcome back to the Fat Man Rant pertaining to President Biden signing the NDAA into law, which included anti-trans provisions. Now, normally I don't do Fat Man Rants in 2 sets. Normally it's just one and done. But this one, I needed to split into 2 different ones. The first one, the last video we watched, you watched, I made, whatever. The last video was about the trans rights portion of it, and that we need to stand up for LGBTQA folks. We need to stand up for marginalized people. We need to stand up for oppressed people. That's what President Biden should have done. He should have used his authority to stand up to the Republican bullies, and he did not. That was video A, or video 1. Video B is this. We as a country do a terrible job of understanding how benefits should work. We saw this in the Burrell versus Hobby Lobby case, one of Alito's horrible rulings. We saw that there. We've seen it in many other cases. We see it how jobs pay you. But what do I mean? This is also a labor benefits argument that can be made about what is going on here with this NDAA. When I work for an employer, there is a cost of employment that is not always seen on your paycheck. Let me explain. So there's the cost to run the HR, your share of whatever HR needs to do for your cost of employment. That's included. That's not included on your paycheck, but it's a cost to employ you or me or whatever. A cost of employment might include those parts of the health insurance premiums that you don't see on your paycheck. So if your health insurance premium for your family plan costs like $15,000 and your employer pays $5,000 and then you pay $10,000 as a pre-tax deduction or whatever, it's still an overall cost of $15,000 above, that's your employment cost. Now you pay for some of it from your own paycheck, but the other thing that we mess up on is we think that, the employer is paying the other $5,000. No, the employer is not paying that other $5,000. It's not on your check, but that $5,000 is paid for with your labor. Your labor pays that $5,000 that is not seen on your paycheck, that your employer is also writing a check to that insurer. It's all paid for with your work. Now, my salary is paid for with my work. So the government can't tell me that I can't go buy something or pay for something that's otherwise legal because my paycheck comes from federal funds. So if I'm working for the U.S. government, if I'm working as a service person in the United States Army or military or whatever, and I get my paycheck and I go cash it and I go take some money out of my bank account and I go want to pay for an abortion with that money, and abortion is legal in the state that I live in, guess what? Government can't tell me crap because it's my money. I worked for it. It's my money. However, we don't take the same attitude about benefits. My work paid for my salary that I took home and could cash out and spend money on whatever. My work also pays for every single benefit that I get. Every benefit should be considered paid for by me, not the taxpayers, me. Because if I'm working for the government, I'm doing the work. Yes, it comes from taxpayer tax funds, but once you earn it as a benefit, it is now yours to use. It should be considered yours to use. It shouldn't matter if some of it's on your paycheck and some of it's not on your paycheck. It is a benefit that you earned with your work. This is one of the problems that I had with, again, the Hobby Lobby ruling. Well, Hobby Lobby was like, well, we don't want to pay for birth control pills because that's against our religion. There's a whole other issue with the Hobby Lobby ruling that I'm not going to get into, with the fact that they basically allowed Hobby Lobby to declare something as scientific fact without making them prove that it's scientific fact, to then put it in as a religious belief. But we're not going to go into all that. I have other videos on that. But it's an earned benefit that I get when I'm working. Hobby Lobby shouldn't be able to say, well, you can't use it to pay for this medication, but you can use it to pay for that. As long as the medicine is legal, I should be able to use my insurance that I worked for with my labor, and I paid for with my labor, to get whatever it is that I want. It's none of my employer's business. It's none of the federal government's business. So now if you want to have, if the NDAA is now banning transgender care, gender-affirming care for trans youth who are the children of our service people, it shouldn't be the case. Because again, just like you could use the money that you get in your paycheck to pay for gender-affirming care for your kids, because you worked for that paycheck and you can use that money that you got, you should also be able to use that benefit to cover the same thing. Because again, once it's a benefit that you earned, it should be considered yours and no different than dollars that you earned. And until we start thinking about benefits earned in that way, government's going to get away with this crap. Employers are going to get away with other crap. You work for that benefit. It should be considered yours and nobody else's, and they shouldn't be able to tell you how to use it. Agree, disagree, leave your comments down below. Remember to like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and of course, have a good day. Thank you, PB, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jojo Mojo. Appreciated you. Apparently, Trump can read books upside down. Well, at least he holds them upside down. Joe, Trump is not a Nazi. Trump is absolutely a Nazi sympathizer, and he absolutely says things that are anti-Semitic. He uses Nazi tactics. He's been using Nazi tactics since 2016, scapegoating an entire religion by saying that he was going to ban all Muslims from entering the country until we figure out what's going on. But yeah, he wanted to ban all Muslims from entering the country. That's scapegoating an entire religion. That's what the Nazis do. Now, what he actually implemented was not the full-on thing he campaigned on, and the conservatives will always say, but he didn't implement that, he only banned for that. No, it's not what I said. I didn't talk about what he implemented, I talked about what he campaigned on. Because you don't wait for somebody to be a 1945 Nazi, or even a 1942 Nazi, or 1941 Nazi, to start worrying about whether or not they're really a Nazi or not. You need to worry about 1933 level Nazis when they actually start getting into power and prevent them from doing the bullshit that they want to do. Hey, Kevin, good to see you. The nuance of Nazi. Hey, Alton, good to see you as well. This progressive Dems are for the people. Pelosi's for capitalism, seniority, gerontocracy. It's old, it's hackneyed, and we can't afford it anymore. Agree, 100%. 100% agree. It's one of the reasons I'm going to, after this show's done, I'll be posting those 2 videos up to YouTube. Probably will do it. They'll probably go live in the morning because I'm sure people aren't going to be. Less people will be on. Usually I make the videos go live in the morning, just to make it so that maybe more people will see it or whatever. But yeah, Jojo Mojo. I'd almost say Trump didn't even read that book himself, but have Melania read it to him like some twisted Nazi bedtime story. Probably. Start reading it. I do not like. No, anyway. I don't want to say that. I want to risk getting the show in trouble by saying something that is just making fun of what it might say. I don't even know the words specifically, because I don't feel like reading Mein Kampf. I know that he could have also maybe got Mein Kampf for Dummies. I don't know. Maybe he got Mein Kampf for Dummies, because clearly that would be needed for Donald Trump, because he's not an intelligent man. God did not, bless him with what people know as a working brain. I read him a coloring book, yeah. Showed him the pictures. This is what happened to the Jews. You could do this to the Muslims too if you want to. Just run like Hitler, and then deny that you're acting like Hitler, and then call other people Nazis, and then, you'll have the full thing. Because it wasn't just about the scapegoating an entire religion either. It was the whole lying press thing, the fake news. All his claims that the media was going to be lying about him. Don't believe anything the media says about me, they're all lies. Well, Adolf Hitler did that. He called it the Lügenpresse. The lying press is how Adolf Hitler referred to that, to make sure that the people would be less likely to believe the press once they started reporting the stuff against him. And now, when, Donald Trump sues the press for reporting something accurately, and the press caves. So he's basically proven that he can get his way as long as he flexes his legal muscles, or the legal muscles of his attorneys. Shocked he could still find them, because who knows how many of them have gone unpaid, just like many other contractors and other people he employs or hires to do work for him. If I was an attorney, I'd absolutely want to get my money up front before doing any work for him. I would demand that. Large retainer, etc. But yeah. It's just, drives me absolutely crazy that these people can't see how terrible Donald Trump is. How, like, I mean, look, if you like the fact that he supports all this stuff, just admit it. And just understand that there's lots of parallels between what he did and what the Nazis did. I mean, what is it? Roger Moore, one of his close advisors, basically said that we should lock up the people who are undocumented migrants and put them into concentration camps. You know, when that starts happening, Joe, are you going to come back and say, I was wrong, Donald Trump is a Nazi? Or are you going to say, or are you going to make excuses as to why this also doesn't make him a Nazi? And how many Nazi-like things does somebody have to do before you'll say, okay, fine, they're Nazis? I guarantee you it's far too many. Far too many things that will take most of the MAGA conservatives out there to be like, you know what? They were right. Donald Trump's a Nazi. We need to nip this in the bud. Too many people are just willing to just overlook all of his bullshit because they never want to admit that they're wrong. That's one of the cardinal sins for a conservative, especially a MAGA conservative, is to admit that you're wrong. Let's see, no way Trump's coloring a book got colored in all brown. There's no facts. Trump hates everything colored. He colored brown. Well, that's why he doesn't like brown people either. That's why. That's why he colored things. That's why he colors things he doesn't like brown. Let's see, Kevin Anderson. My family got me a Quiet Place game. I never knew they made that. Yeah, I've heard of it, and I've heard it's actually pretty. You know, you get into it, and I've heard good things, but you basically have to pretend like you're in a quiet, and you have to play in a quiet room because if you make a noise, done. The monsters, the aliens are going to come get you. That's something I was watching the other day where the people were like, well, let's watch something nice and peaceful. We'll watch A Quiet Place. And just left it there, be like, oh yeah, you're not going to be quite happy with A Quiet Place. Their policy is to double down on being wrong for money. Exactly. Not even that, not even for money. The politicians will double down on being wrong for money because they'll double down on the fact that their own supporters will help them will help the doubling down. I mean, they double down on 12, they double down on 13, they double down on 16. Hard 16, not soft 16. They double down on being wrong all the time. Because it goes back to the whole thing of, you know, they read The Boy Who Cried Wolf, or had it read to them. And the moral of the story that everybody else took was, if you tell lies enough, people are going to stop believe you and won't believe you when it's important. The MAGA conservative type folks, many of them heard that argument. Many of them read the book. I read the story, and they got out of that. What they got out of that was, if somebody is lying, you should continue to believe them, because one day they might be telling the truth. Especially if you support the person politically. Josh, all the leaves are brown. All the leaves are brown. All the leaves are brown. And the sky is gray. And the sky is gray. I went for a walk on a winter's day. Anyway, sometimes I like to do the background, the backup lyrics or whatever. Hold on, I have a child. What child? What do you want, child? Hello, child. Good to see you, child. Thomas, good to see you. So the rural population says cut off from civics and media that would advance the situation. Yeah, well, I mean, they've been made to believe that they can one day be rich and wealthy, so they're never going to do it. They're never going to support anything that's going to punish them if they ever do become rich and wealthy themselves, even though the barriers of entry into markets will stop them from doing it. It's the same reason I talked about this on the My Dude show, or I didn't talk about it, but I did mention it in chat. It's the same reason that the people in the South who were, poor individuals who probably either didn't own a home, or if they owned it, it was a small little thing, and they didn't own slaves. Many of the people who were fighting in the Civil War for the South didn't own slaves, but they were fighting for the rights of the other people to own slaves, because What if but one day I actually get rich enough and I can afford myself a slave of my own? I want to be able to own a slave too. So why would I not fight to protect my right to eventually one day own a slave? Even though market forces will dictate that there's no way that that's going to happen. Because again, there are barriers of entry into all of these markets to make people think that, that more people might think that they might be able to do it with hard work. I think you're more likely to become a millionaire by playing the lottery than you are via hard work. Yeah, maybe over the course of 20, 30 years, you might earn a total of $1 million. It doesn't mean you're worth $1 million. Right? But these people believe that they'll live the American dream one day and own a company and own a corporation, be rich like Elon Musk. They have the opportunity to be rich like Elon Musk. What they don't understand is that in order to be rich like Elon Musk, you have to be like the child of diamond miners and have family wealth and use that family wealth to buy other people's businesses and then make money off of their work. That's how Musk got rich. So Donald Trump got rich. He was the son of a rich person. He inherited a bunch of money. Now, if he would have taken that money and invested it in a hedge fund, he'd have more money. But he's a con artist, so he did things the way of the con artist, the art of the steal, so to speak. So PBO, that's part of it. But I know vets in my small town who think Dems are bad. I mean, I'm sure they do. But I'm sure that there's part of the reason why they think Dems are bad or Democrats are bad is because they want to one day be able to have all the money, and if they do have all the money, the Democrat laws will prevent them from being able to use all the money that they get, even though they're never going to get there. Yes, there are other reasons also why people don't like the Democrats, like i.e. my Fat Man Rants reason, the fact that we support LGBTQA rights, the fact that we support oppressed and marginalized people and want to make them less oppressed and less marginalized. We want to end the marginalization and oppression of anybody. Everybody. And to some people, a loss of inequality feels like inequality themselves because they see other people gaining and they don't see themselves gaining. So they think, oh, well, those people are coming up, but I'm staying the same, so therefore I'm losing. They want to maintain the hierarchical structure that exists. They feel good because they can look down, proverbially, figuratively, at the people who they think are beneath them. And they're fooled into thinking that, well, as long as I'm better than them, that my problems are all gone. When in reality, they should be looking up, proverbially, and realizing that the trickle-down economics that they've been convinced of is just a bunch of urine peeing all over them. Good to see you, Nick. If I didn't catch you on the way out, good to see you. Thank you for joining the show. So he didn't want to own. Well, I'm not saying that modern day conservatives now want to own slaves, although I'm sure some would. Some would still view it as a states' rights issue, even though there's no such thing as states' rights. States empowers people of rights. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the argument, the slave argument is for the people back in the 1860s. The now argument is, I want to be Musk rich. I want to be able to make all the money that Donald Trump and Elon Musk and everybody else makes, and I want to be able to do all that. So, and when I get there, I don't want to be taxed. I want to be taxed less. I want to be able to use the same things that Donald Trump and Elon Musk used to get to where they are today, which they ignore the fact that it involves a lot of inherited money that they don't have. But the conservative politicians will keep on telling them that just with hard work, they'll be able to do whatever it is they want to do. I reckon they'll be able to do everything they want to do as long as they have hard work and make sure that the Democrats can't pass their laws on taxes, on LGBTQA rights, abortion rights. Don't let the Democrats have their way, otherwise you won't be able to be rich like me. See, PB, let's see. I make cards, they're a joy to give to the ones I love. And then Steve, and I hope every time you mail, you sing yourself, this one goes out to the one I love. This one goes out to the one I left behind. Sorry. I'm not going to do the fire part because that's probably out of my range. I don't think I've ever sung that song in karaoke before. But I can do that much at least. Stipple something to occupy my time. This one goes out to the one I love. Although, whenever he gets to the point when he words the song, when he goes out, this one goes out to the one I left behind, and he does that part of the song, that's when I'll grab the left side of my wife's butt, because that's my joke. But yeah, but that's a good song callback, Steve. Appreciate that. Appreciate your musical entries. Actually, we have a bunch of people. I mean, I said that in the thing that if I got 5 people doing super chats with $5 or more, so I eat $25, or one person did $25, that would work too. If we have 5 people doing that, then I'll sing a Christmas carol. But apparently, do I need to include just all songs on that as well? PB, song references is always a risk. Yeah, there's sometimes where I've mentioned song references, and the person who I made the song reference to didn't know the song, and as such was kind of surprised at saying it. That happened once between me and my wife and the song Closer by 9 Inch Nails. She hadn't heard the song and was like, what? He's being very forward with me today. And I was like, I'm just quoting a song there, dear. If you know the song, you know why I can't sing it, or why I won't sing it, I guess, on the show. Let's see, luckily we know Trump can't read or look normal. Nobody looks as good as me. I'm the best. Nobody looks better than me. I'm the best looking ever. No one's better looking. It's funny though how we have the de facto president Musk, and Trump really doesn't like that Musk is being called the de facto president. He's like, I'm the president. I'm the one who's in charge. Nobody's in charge of me. Yada yada yada. Sorry, bruh. You pretty much look like you're not just Putin's bitch, but Musk's bitch too. Now, it'll be amusing to see when Musk and Putin start fighting over him and start trying to exert more and more power over them, and to see which one Trump ultimately sides with. Probably Putin, but who knows, because Musk is very rich and wealthy, and that holds a lot of sway in the heart and mind. Well, I wouldn't say. Can I even say heart and mind of Donald Trump? Does he have either working? I don't know. Probably not. See, Steve, it's lovely when men can let down their guard for a moment. And we try and do that here on Liberal Dan Radio, Talk from the Left, that's right, as well. We're always about men letting down their guard, supporting each other, eliminating toxic masculinity. That's why I have the whole unraveling toxic masculinity thing. Apparently, Pick Me Pearl, who has her own little subsection of the unraveling toxic masculinity stuff, apparently she's now dating somebody. And apparently, the person had posted previously that basically if he ever ended up dating somebody the age of a Pick Me Pearl, that he would be settling. So basically, Pick Me Pearl's boyfriend has basically said that by dating her, he's settling. I mean, I agree, because she's a terrible person. And I'm sure we'll be going over more of her stuff in the new year. That's one of the things we'll be doing in the new year as well, is going back to doing some of our unraveling toxic masculinity. One of the things that I think makes the show unique and different than all the other ones that are out there. Trucker John, Trump being spit roasted by Musk and Putin.
Oh my.
Exactly, Trucker John. That is, if there was ever a time to put, although I don't know if I actually want to have that thought in my head, because but yeah, I mean, if there was any time for an oh my comment,
oh my,
that's it. Harry turds loudly screaming electric tanker. What? I don't understand what you're saying, sort of monkey. Or is that like person, woman, man, camera, TV? Is that your attempt of mocking his person, woman, man, camera, TV? In which case, that's pretty funny. I dig it. If that is what you're saying, I laugh. It's funny. I dig it. If it's not what you're saying, then I'm utterly confused. Happens from time to time. Let's see. 4 years of rich people temper tantrums. It'll be interesting to see what actually happens with that, and see how long it takes people to realize they done fucked up. Which is why the find out phase, that's probably be another playlist in the new year. The find out phase, we could just sit there and just eat popcorn and think to ourselves, oh, this one found out. This one found out. It's fun watching the people find out. Anyway, Liberal Dan Radio, talk from life, that's right. Mondays, Wednesdays here, 8 p.m. Central on YouTube, which is liberaldanradio.com, or twitch.tv/liberaldanradio. You can support the Patreon, Venmo, or you can support the show by Venmo, Liberal Dan and Venmo. You can go to liberaldan.com, click the Buy Me a Cider button, or go to buymeacoffee.com/liberaldanradio, patreon.com/liberaldan, or patreon.liberaldan.com. You could gift people subscriptions over on Twitch. You can subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime. You can also gift people memberships here on YouTube. You can buy super chats, super stickers, etc. And you can also, get yourself memberships as well. But of course, the best way to support the show is to like and comment and share all sorts of videos. Make sure the algorithms pick up the activity on the videos themselves, so more people will get shown them in their feeds. Because the more people that interact, the more people will see. It'll be a snowballing effect, and then our reach will grow even more. So, it's that. That's it. That is what it is. All right, let me go ahead. We will go ahead and open the phone lines for a smidge. We will see. Let's see. I have to turn that off real quick. Put the call in logo back on. Call in 562 LibDan1 562 LibDan1. We will turn off the do not disturb and see if we can get the call to work, or if it goes to voicemail again. Unfortunately, if it goes to voicemail, leave the voicemail and leave the comment. That's the thing. If it happens to go to voicemail, if you do try and call 562 LibDan1 562 LibDan1, if it goes to voicemail, instead of letting me pick up and answer your call, just leave the voicemail, and I'll play the voicemail and respond to it. I'll give you the opportunity to leave a brief voicemail and play it anyway, if it doesn't work. But anyway, we're hoping it works. We're hoping that it was just a glitch the last time, but it should work. It should. We'll see if it does. If anybody calls in. 562-542-3261, or again, 562-LibDan1. Left cheek, that's right. Left cheeks, that's right. Yes. Pinching the left cheek, that would be pinching the right cheek again. Pinches on the cheek, that's right, or that's left? I don't know. We'll have to workshop that some more, I suppose. Impeccable living, if I called in, I'd just be hitting on Dan the whole time. Yeah, I want to more have political discussions, not, I appreciate all the stuff you say. I mean, I'm flattered, I'm honored. It's always nice to hear that somebody finds you attractive, but yeah, I don't necessarily want to maybe if I do the Sex with Liberal Dan show on a different channel, like if I make the whole Liberal Dan After Dark and do the whole show where we discuss adult type topics, maybe then we'll take some more, we can take calls like that, but not until then. Anyway. But we are gonna. If you do ever come to New Orleans, we will grab a meal together. We will hang out and have some fun, because I do like meeting the viewers, the watchers, the listeners, etc. Have met a few. Would like to meet more if possible. Anyway, 562 LibDan1 562 LibDan1 to call in. I guess before we take any call, before anybody calls in. I don't know if I'm reading too much into this or not. I don't know. I was over in the My Dude chat before the show started, because he started before me. So I was over in that chat, and I was sitting there, and I decided to be nice. I decided to, because it's the holiday season, it's Hanukkah and Christmas, Kwanzaa tomorrow, Festivus, Yule, etc. I decided just to gift 5 memberships. Just be like, hey, here's, 5 memberships gifted. Appreciate you for your show. I want to support the show because I am a subscriber of that channel as well. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next time when my membership comes along. Because normally when I post my membership anniversary for my dude, normally it's like, thanks, Liberal Dan. And he'll say, thanks, Liberal Dan. I'll say that. But today, when I gifted the memberships, he just said, thanks, Dan. So I'm wondering if he's not wanting to say Liberal Dan because if he views me as a competitor of some sort, or if I'm just reading too much into it. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I don't know. I still think he's a good show to watch. I like what he does. I like his, debating people live on, whatever. And I do that on the phones. I've done that on the phones before, whereas he does it via TikTok. And I don't know if that ability is going to be going away if TikTok does ultimately get banned. Of course, I fully expect the Supreme Court to take it up, put a stay on the ruling, or put a stay on the banning until Donald Trump can come in. And then once Donald Trump comes in, the Donald Trump administration would probably be like, well, we're not going to defend our law, so we're just going to let the law go away and let the Supreme Court rule against us because, we like TikTok and we like, our Chinese overlords or what have you. See, Impeccable Living. Tommy was weird tonight. I don't think he meant anything by it. I mean, you're probably right. You are probably. I just found it weird that he always calls me Liberal Dan and instead this time didn't call me Liberal Dan. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not by any stretch of imagination saying I'm no longer to be a member of him. I did sign up to be a member of him. I'm a member of him, of Hal's, and of Chucker John's at this point. Probably will become a member of Boston Brian's as well at some point, especially because I'm going to be on his show at the beginning of the month next month. Thank you, Surrender Monkey, for gifting gifts. See, somebody gifts gifts, you say their username. Anyway, but again, I'm not mad, I'm not angry about it. I just found it weird. That's all I'm saying. Benny Loco, good luck with what? With going on Boston Brian or what? I'm not quite sure. Because when you say that, sometimes, there's the delay between what I say and between when you hear it, and then there's what you say. So I don't know what you're wishing me good luck on. I mean, I appreciate good luck on anything, which is fine, but I don't know the context that you're giving it. Let's see. So who got it? Kath, Evelyn Hartman, Janelle Espinoza, Jesse Tesseract, and Tiki Tony all got memberships. Nice. But again, hey, Benny Loco, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate you. I did hear him shout you out. See, he even shouted you out on while I was there. He said, thanks, Benny Loco. And then, but again, I don't know. We'll see. Again, I think I'm just reading too much into it. I think I'm being silly. But I'm also trying to kill a little bit of time before, waiting for a phone call. I'm not going to be on too much longer tonight, I think. I think Cassie wants to watch some Outlander with me. I think we're either an episode or 2 behind, and so we need to watch some of that as well. I don't know. Nobody wants you to shut up, Benny Loco. I mean, talk. Say what you want to say. Only people we criticize for saying things horribly are the people like, Joe Gibson, who says horrible things. I'm trying to read what's see. So David, on the Holy Days Confluence, good luck with that. What I don't understand. Good luck with what? I'm not quite exactly sure. I'm just very confused today, I guess. I don't know. Maybe just having an off day. Who knows? One thing I did want to bring up, one thing I did want to mention. I did mention this earlier in the show, briefly. Let's go ahead. I did something that I reposted on Twitter. I'm guessing they lost the remote downstairs, maybe. Who knows? It always happens. Oh, Jesus. Musk's posting some BS as well. Okay. So, Lorraine Evanoff, from Meetus Plus, posts something. I don't know, is this something I'm not going to be able to see because it's on Meetus Plus or whatever? Type your email. Okay, I'll type the email. And we'll subscribe to Metis Plus. We will select none at the moment, because, again, I'm supporting some shows, but I can't support too many, right? I'll skip that. I could just read the direct quote, too, but I just still want to give the whole thing that they gave. Maybe later. Written by Ben Masilis. I'll keep this short since I need to. Okay, let's just wait on that. I'll keep this short since I need to run a few errands for Christmas and Hanukkah. First off, I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, blah, blah, blah. So here's another YouTube link to Metis Touch. Ben Masilis is calling you an insurrectionist despite knowing the Supreme Court has cleared you with the false allegations. He continues to slander you, blah, blah, blah. Listen up, MAGA. I don't know how many more times I need to say this. You don't scare us. I'm a former litigator and a current law professor. Our network is made up of some of the top practicing lawyers in the country. If Trump sues us, he will lose. Not only will he lose, but he will embarrass him. We will embarrass him and mock him the entire time. This won't be like ABC or any of the other oligarch-funded networks. Trump has gone after us in court filings before, and it just made him look pathetic, so give it a rest. Go outside, get some fresh air. So it says, and touch some grass as well. The desperation is palpable with Trump supporters and is growing daily, even before Trump takes office. We keep growing bigger and stronger because of you. The meat is mighty and the MAGA is scared. America is already tired of Trump and his boss, Elon. They thought that we'd run away because of their threats. Instead, it's only made us work harder and fight more for the people. We've been working nonstop, putting out so much content on YouTube and social media over the last few days. I hope you've been enjoying it. I also want to give a shout out to Justin Gill, who leads one of the top nursing organizations, for his incredible post on our Substack this weekend. Over the coming weeks and months, we'll be lending our platform to groups and people like Justin, those who don't get reported on enough. We want to give them the coverage that they deserve and provide you with tangible action items to fight back against Trump and MAGA. During my interview with President Biden, he reminded us to stay in the fight for democracy. He must. Of course, President Biden also gave up that when he signed the NDAA, and that included the frickin' anti-trans language, but, you know, we've already ranted about that before. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays. We are grateful for you. The meat is mighty. We are got so much to look forward to as we continue to fight this together. Since Metis Touch has zero investors, please, or Midas Touch has zero investors, please consider becoming a paid subscriber today as we gear up for 2025. Try to hit our 2024 subscriber goal. Let's do this and make history together. Anyway, so there you go. That's the overall thing. But Lorraine Evanoff went ahead and did share it as well on her Twitter account. See, let's see. Just chat. Nothing much I need to chat. I think in the chat, just people back and forth, which is fine. What was the other thing that I looked at? What was Musk sharing? Doge designer account. Elon Musk showing that United States fertility rate reaches record low. New data from the CDC shows U.S. fertility rate has reached record low. A little more than 3.5 million babies were born, representing a 3% drop in birth rates. And Musk says most countries are experiencing all-time low birth rates. Wonder why that is. You wonder why that is the case, Elon and conservatives or whatever. The reason that's the case is manyfold. A, by separating the difference between like the highest paid and the lowest paid, the wealth gap that we have in this country and in the world, but specifically in this country, has made it so that people don't feel like they can afford children. So therefore, they're going to try not have them. They're not going to try and have them because they don't feel that they can afford them. Because you work so hard to try and hoard all the money for yourself and not make sure that everybody has at least a minimum standard of living that they can, you know, raise a family with. Yeah, of course people are not going to have as much children as they used to. Furthermore, why are people in this country, especially in red states, going to risk pregnancy when if something bad happens in the pregnancy, guess what? They can't take care of it until it becomes too late. They have to risk death in order for them to take action that doctors tell them are medically necessary to save themselves before it starts causing irreparable harm to the system. But according to these Republicans, these Republican laws that were passed, guess what? You now have to wait. You now have to wait till it becomes a deadly thing, until instead of being allowed to nip it in the bud well before it becomes a threat to your overall health and life. A doctor could say, if you let this go for 3 months, this person will die. But the AGs of these states, like AG Paxton in Texas, will say, guess what? You're not allowed to take the action now. You have to wait till it actually becomes a threat because we don't believe you, Mr. Doctor, and your medical knowledge and your medical degree that you don't have, Mr. Paxton. They're not going to believe the doctor when the doctor says that what is needed for the patient to be able to save their lives. Hey, Mike, thank you very much for the Christmas wish. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, all the good stuff. Appreciate you as well. Yes, impeccable living. So glad you don't live in Texas. Then again, you're not getting pregnant there, are you? So since Michael gave 20 and Aaron gave 5, that's 25. So does that mean I need to now sing a holiday song? Let's see. I think so. I think that does mean I have to keep my promises. Oh, now I have somebody.
Thomas, did you find it?
I forgot to turn the Alexa off. Impeccable living. You try really hard. You said hard. You said hard. There you go. So, well, I guess you got an upgrade from Texas to Michigan. That makes a little more sense. Let's look at them this way, because some of these I know the lyrics. That Musk doesn't pay for his own kids, or if he does, he only pays for the level of education. Simply put, kindergarten level government doesn't work unless it's funded milk and naps. Exactly. Let's see. Do I go for a funny one, a silly one, a serious one? One where I could do an imitation of somebody, one where I'm not doing an imitation of somebody. Because there's whenever the like the Alvin and Chipmunk song comes on, the Christmas time is here, time for toys and time for cheer. Yeah, like I'll start doing the Alvin or the Chipmunks on me. I want a hula hoop. So I'll do that just because it's funny. It's also funny that like sometimes this one commercial came on like a while back, and I was just obsessed with the commercial because it was like singing a song in Spanish, and the little kid's like, "Mamacita, ¿dónde está Santa Claus?" So I'm looking at all these lyrics up here. First and foremost, as I'm looking at these songs, "O Come All Ye Faithful." If you've not heard "O Come All Ye Faithful" done by Twisted Sister and realize that it sounds almost exactly like We're Not Gonna Take It, after the podcast is over, I just implore you to go look up Twisted Sister's "O Come All Ye Faithful," because it's amazing. And it's funny that the fact that it, it's funny you put "O Holy Night" in there. I mean, "O Holy Night," I guess, it is a Christmas carol, but still, I am Jewish. I don't know if, should have said the Cartman version of the "Jesus was born and so we get presents." And then also, I'm seeing "Joy to the World" up here, and it reminds me of the time I was at one of my friends who got a bat mitzvah later in life because she converted to Judaism later in life and then had a bat mitzvah, celebrating the fact that she's now responsible for keeping the mitzvot or the commandments. And and we have a bunch of Jewish people sitting in a karaoke, and they put in Joy to the World because they wanted to sing Joy to the World, all the boys and girls. But no, that's not the version they had in karaoke. The version they had on karaoke was Joy to the World, our Lord has come. And we're just a bunch of Jewish people cracking up over the fact that that's what they wanted us to sing. So instead of singing that, they decided to sing the song from the producers, Springtime for Hitler, which is hilarious. Let's see. I think these are most of the serious ones. But I don't know. Let's see. Should I do Oh Holy Night? Let me go ahead and close the door again. Let me take the camera off for a second so I can get up and close the door, and so less people will see. So hold on a second. We'll be back. Of course, I'm sure Rose is going to come and probably try and open the door again. So we are back. No one needed to see my face. Timmy style. Yeah. Carol of the Bells, sing something a little different. One person singing in Carol of the Bells. Yeah, that would be it. Oh, with the bells, so many bells, all of the bells. Merry Christmas. See, I don't know I don't know if I know how the entire Oh Holy Night goes, but it'd be like, Oh holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angels' voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Anyway, that's the best you're getting out of me from this. So maybe a less different. I don't know. I haven't paid I only really remember the version. I don't hear that version much. I usually hear the Eric Cartman version of going, it is the night of the Christmas trees and pie. Jesus was born and so we get presents. You don't need words that do songs if it's Timmy. Timmy! Timmy! Thank you, Janelle. Appreciate you. Let's see, what other Hanukkah songs? Thank you, Roxanne. Appreciate you. Do I want to look up Hanukkah songs? From Chabad.org, the Ultra Lubavitch folks. Thank you, Michael. And your $20 made me have to sing one. So if you want to hear another one, gotta tip another $25, right? Another more super chats, super stickers, etc. Bruce Cockburn has an excellent Christmas album. Excellent album, but horrible last name. I'm getting some warnings from McAfee on Chabad's website. Wow. Jeez, you would think the Chabad would be fine, but no. Thank you, Jackie. Let's see. We're probably until I'm done the show, we'll probably just have fun for the rest of the show. I don't have much to rant about. Let's see. 20 famous Christmas Carol lyrics. See, well, 12 Days of Christmas. That's simple. Oh, come all you faithful. Again, come all you faithful. Go watch the Twisted Sister version. It's amazing. God, ye rest ye. Yeah, here's the lyrics of Carol of the Bells. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bring blah 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 blah. Merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. What else? What other lyrics? Of course, yeah. I can't see a little town of Bethlehem and not think of the whole. I've told this story before, but the whole whatchamacallit, the Disney thing where they read the story of Christmas and they have all of the people behind the celebrities. Like we saw Brendan Fraser. I've seen Edward James almost do it. And when Edward James almost was doing it, there was the situation where you had. Oh no, don't want to play that yet. You had people falling left and right. People were falling left and right because they were so hot and overheated that you just kept passing out. And one of the songs that this happened in was the "O Little Town of Bethlehem." So you hear all these people, "O little town of Bethlehem," splat. Like, what the hell just happened? It's freaking amazing. Yeah, some of these songs are just I'm 20 famous Christmas songs, and just looking at the lyrics, I don't think I even know half of them. But if I heard them, I might actually recognize them. But yeah, you could. Oh, we have 69 views. Nice. You could tell all your friends. Yeah, I listen to Liberal Dan Radio, and you didn't, so you didn't get to hear him singing "Oh Holy Night." Or there's, of course, always the "Oh Holy Crap" strong bad from homestarrunner.com. Let's see, what else? There's just a website, ChristmasSongsandCarols.com. Not trying to give them a plug or whatever, but I guess it's a very nice long name that no one is going to try and steal. Just Christmas albums, buy Christmas merch, Christmas music. Watch Countdown. -1 days, 22 hours. Wait, what? How is that possible? It's still Christmas. And even if you want to count the negative hours, it would be negative 22 almost, not negative a whole day. This is an Australian website. What if Australian Christmas carols are any different than like American ones? Like, you know, sing about a dingo away in a dingo major or something. Wallaby darned, Jesus was born. I was actually like lots of ones that I actually know. Maybe we'll do that one. If the what did you do for Christmas? I had some steak. We woke up early. We opened up presents with the kids. Unfortunately, my youngest one has the flu, but we let him come down for the gift present opening. Hopefully, we won't get sick from it. So we opened the presents, and then at some point later on, my wife actually, because you know we're a split household, half Jewish, half Catholic. Neither of us are practicing, but that makes our kids cashews. And so, you know, my wife actually, for somebody who's not Jewish, she makes very good potato pancakes, potato latkes. So she made latkes, she made some other stuff, and she also we made up some steaks. We've gotten some steaks at Costco just to have a nicer meal. And of course, I only ate a little smidge of it because of my medication, but it is what it is. Oh, sorry, that's Trump's line. I'm sorry, Donald, for going over your words. See, that's my problem with the soundboard. You have to play it twice. There you go. The sound's so nice, you had to play it twice, or at least a time and a half. But yeah. So we ate, watched a little TV, played a little video games, and then came up and did the show prep, and now I'm doing the show. Ooh, you live in a house. Yes, I live in a house. Didn't hear what? Oh, you didn't hear the... Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't hear the it is what it is. Oh, because I turned off the thing.
It is what it is.
I still have to do it again.
It is what it is.
Thank you, Donald. There you go. Yeah. I turned off the audio because I wanted to be able to hear the phone ringing if anybody called in, but still not actually have you hear the ringing and hear all the intro beforehand. So that's what I'm still trying to get used to it. I thought I had it set up to where I had only the volume coming from that window to go directly into one, so I didn't have to play both, but it wasn't working properly. So maybe that was one of the reasons it didn't work the first time we had tried the calls, but whatever. It happens. Anyway, I think we're going to shut down the calls since it doesn't appear that anybody's calling in. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the phone calls for now, or until the end of the show, or for the end of the show, because we're pretty soon, unless people want to throw up $25 more to have me sing another Christmas song or a Hanukkah song or whatever, maybe just any song. I don't know. If you want to have me do that, throw that up there. Otherwise, we'll probably end the show in a few minutes. Some of us live in unicorns, and Donald Trump Eric's houses are for mugs. So I'm an individualist, brought up Catholic, so many religions to choose from. We went to my youngest son's house, and my family had a Christmas dinner and exchanged gifts. It's all good. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, like, normally we would go to my mother-in-law's house, or my mother-in-law would have come here, but again, can't do that. She passed away. I did call my dad and my stepmom. My stepmom is Methodist, I think. I think that's the correct denomination that she is. Of course, my dad's also Jewish. There's no funny, I guess, combination of whatever, unless you want to make a meth joke when it comes to that. But they're at my stepsister's house, and so we got to see them. Got to talk to my little niece Kinsley, and they didn't get to talk to my youngest because, again, he was just upstairs sleeping. Rotary dial almost there. Nice. No rotary. Although it's so funny to have to have when people see a rotary for the first time, they're like, "What the hell is this? Why did you have to turn the dial instead of actually pushing a button? That's just archaic." But yeah, it's funny. Anyway, let's see. I think we pretty much covered everything that we want to cover. I'll probably just go ahead and end the show now, and we'll see. Oh, I forgot the most important part of my day. I watched Die Hard. Because it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber goes splat on the pavement. So I did watch Die Hard. That's an important Christmas tradition that we always try and keep up. Although it's weird because even though Die Hard is a Christmas movie, there are many stations just don't play it. I'm like, why are you not playing Die Hard on Christmas? It's a Christmas movie. Play Home Alone. Play Home Alone 2. Those are Christmas movies. And some people are, it's not a Christmas movie. It's a movie set during a Christmas time. It doesn't make it a Christmas movie. I mean, John McClane's wife's name is Holly. How could you get more Christmassy than that, right? It is what it is. Oh, sorry. That's stealing Donald Trump's lines. I'll probably only get it.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I only got a half. Yeah, so we're gonna have to do some work and find another soundboard for the new year. I don't want to have to pay for one. I would hope that you could have one for free. I hope I don't have to make my own. Anyway, so you're going to watch the Christmas. Is this the first time you've left the show Impeccable Living to go do something other than a Grindr date? I don't know. This seems like a first for us. Like, you're going to go watch the X-Files.
Oh my.
And not go off and have a Grindr date. I'm impressed. Or maybe not impressed. I don't know. Is it a slow day? Maybe Christmas Day is a slow day for Grindr. I don't know. Although, then again, from the song The Bad Touch by the Bloodhound Gang, they do say in the song that they'll do it doggy style so you can both watch X-Files. So maybe you could have a little both. Some column A, some column B. So just watched a couple of old animated classics and farted on the couch and was in and out of a nap. Nice. see. Oh, FFS, are you still suffering the Kia thing? Prove you don't IKEA, no Kia, or want Kia geezer. I mean, I am who mentioned the Kia thing? I didn't mention the Kia thing. I mean, yeah, I'm still mad at Kia. I'm not going to buy a Kia. Not enough to not get a Nokia or not go to IKEA. Two different things. They're all three different things. So, thank you, Benny, for coming around, watching the show, helping Al Gore's rhythm, because Al Gore needs more rhythm. Anyway, so I think we're just going to go ahead and end the show at this point, since we're very close to the end. Anyway, let's go ahead. We will play our War on Christmas start for the folks on both YouTube and Twitch. Of course, Twitch will then cut off as soon as the War on Christmas lyric or sound ends. And of course, the people on YouTube will get to hear the outro going out. Remember, next Monday, or this upcoming Monday, we will still have a show. We'll have a show on New Year's Eve, I guess, as well, New Year's Day. We'll have a show New Year's Day as well. All won't be quiet on New Year's Day. We'll still be talking live, but this will be the last time you hear this until next holiday season. So if you haven't heard it yet already, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chats, Aaron and Michael, and the super sticker. Thank you so much for that. And until next Monday, unless something big happens, this is Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left. That's right.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the land Fox News warned its viewers of a dastardly plan. The liberals were launching their war on the season to get rid of Christmas and commit acts of treason, removing decorations out of their sight and telling you that Santa and Jesus ain't white. Environmentalists who will come right after your soul. They hate all things Christmas, especially the coal. They'll sneak in your house all dressed in their flannel and instead give the bad kids some new solar panels. They'll take up all decorations that please us. They'll even go after tiny baby Jesus. Now all these Fox lies cause such a frustration. Who would save us all from this misinformation? When live from the net there came lots of chatter. Could it be old St. Nick, or perhaps someone fatter? Broadcasting from New Orleans down in Louisiana, it was none other than Liberal Dan, coming to save the holiday season, busting through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. But I cannot do it myself, he exclaimed, so he called other groups, each one by name, on Christians, on Muslims, on Wiccans, on Jews, on Hindus and Buddhists and atheists too. Let's all spread the word and tell them indeed that there's no war on Christmas, just one on greed. So instead of joining this manufactured fight, listen to Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right.